Hey, what's up everybody? Riki back here again. It's been a very long time since I've done one of these vlog things. I've been meaning to for a while. I'd even filmed one or two of them and kind of started working on some of them, and then in the end I didn't like where they were going or something or other. For the most part though, lately I have just been really busy. What have you been busy doing? That's a good question, me with a different t-shirt on. But for the last couple months, I've actually been doing a lot of renovation. And finally, that's all done. So I can actually do other things now. I'm not constantly worried about that. This is kind of the start of what will eventually be kind of my little vlog spot. Just a couple really random things I want to talk about today. And I'm incredibly random. It's not going to get political or serious or anything at all, so that's what you're expecting. You can pretty much just leave right now. The first thing I want to talk about is only because it was something I saw today on MSN, I think it was, and I just thought it was a really weird story, and I wanted to talk about that before it became completely irrelevant. And it just struck me as weird. I'm sure a lot of people are going to think I'm completely stupid for even talking about it, but what struck me as weird about it was an article about how Nestle's, I think it is, or whichever company it is that produces Raisinettes, I believe it's Nestle's, is recalling like tons of packages of Raisinettes, certain ones with a specific barcode. And I was like, okay, well, not that I eat Raisinettes on a regular basis, but I'd like to know what's going on. And I'm expecting, you know, that there's some kind of salmonella outbreak again, or, you know, Raisinettes have herpes. Some kind of big crazy thing. And it turns out that what it is they're recalling a bunch of specific batches of Raisinettes because they are contaminated with peanuts, and they're worried about people with, you know, nut allergies eating them. And what struck me as kind of weird about the story is pretty much any candy bar you buy ever, even the ones that have peanuts in them like Snickers, I don't care if you're buying Raisinettes or if you're buying, you know, a Milky Way, pretty much any candy bar you buy, somewhere on the label says, you know, caution, may contain nuts, or, you know, made in the same factory or produced on the same line as nut products. So it just struck me as kind of odd that, okay, some actual peanuts got into the batch, and they're recalling them like they've got the rage virus in them because they don't want people with nut allergies to eat them. And I understand that, because, you know, nut allergies, allergies of any kind, are not anything to mess with. But when the product you've been putting out for however many years has always said on the package, caution, may contain nuts, now that it finally does, people are freaking out. And I just think it's weird. It's no different than it's always saying on there, caution, may contain nuts. If you open it and there's nuts in there, just don't eat it. I understand, you know, they might be chocolate coated, but I have had Raisinettes before in the past, and there's accidentally been a goober slipped into the package. It happens. In a very loosely related topic, I've recently been kind of snack food nostalgic. And I was like, you know, I haven't had fruit roll-ups in forever. I don't even know if they still make them. And they do. So I've got fruit roll-ups. I guess this is some kind of variety pack. They're the Double Dare ones, because, you know, you gotta put crap on there now because apparently you can't just eat them and you have to try and read them too. And while they're still delicious, there's something about them that just kind of bothers me. They're still a fruit roll-up. Essentially a pretty easy product. What kind of bothers me about them now is that I remember when I was a kid, and fruit roll-ups always kind of have this sort of, I don't know, pulpy texture to it. I mean, like, you could look at it and tell that it was made with fruit. Like, it kind of just looked like you laid out some, you know, preserves, not jelly, like some actual preserves, and let it dry, and that's what you were eating. And while they're still very much delicious, you look at it now, it doesn't have that look anymore. This is cherry orange wildfire flavor. It's incredibly tasty, but I'm looking at it, and it doesn't have that look anymore. It kind of looks like just a colored variation of the plastic it came in. And again, the flavor of the product is still great. It just kind of saddened me that I can think back to a time when I would eat fruit roll-ups in my lunch when I was a little kid, and you could see that it was a real fruit product. And now, like, right on the ingredients, there's like pears from concentrate apparently, and then everything else is some kind of oil or syrup, and it's just a little bit sad. Like I said, still a tasty snack food, but I kind of liked that kind of fruity, pulpy texture. But I also like to pretty much chew my orange juice when I drink it. I like a lot of pulp, so maybe that's just me. Last thing I want to talk about, completely, totally off topic. Even if you don't live in Wisconsin, anyone who's anyone pretty much has heard of the Rave. Pretty much any big band ever has played or will play the Rave. It's this concert hall, little club place in Milwaukee. And one thing that's kind of cool is that the Rave actually gives out a lot of free tickets, which on one hand I think is totally cool. It's like, oh wow, you know, sweet, free tickets. But on the other hand, I can't help but think, how badly do you need to fill this place that you're giving out free tickets? You can get free tickets to a Brewers game at any gas station in this state because nobody goes to those games. So I just think it's kind of along the same line. Now, while it is kind of cool because, you know, they send you some, it's not just like one or two. I mean, they send a ton. And like these, I got all of these recently. Like, this was all in one envelope. And it's for a ton of different people. I mean, there's like, you know, ICP and Twisted and Gwar, Suicidal Tendencies, Busy Bone, I mean, just like everybody. I would totally take advantage of it if it weren't for the fact that the Rave was the shittiest club I have ever been to in my life. I mean, I grew up going to concerts and going to clubs and stuff in Hollywood. When I was 5, me and my dad had like reserved tables at Gazzari's on Sunset because we were going there so often. So I've seen a lot of shows, and I had never been to a more horrible venue than the Rave. It's just completely terrible. The one and only show I've ever seen there was Blue October last year, and it was terrible. Blue October is an amazing show, but that venue just made it absolutely awful because it's a random venue that has been several different things. It was never built to be a music place of any kind. It's been everything from a restaurant to a boxing ring to a YMCA. I've talked to musicians that have played there, and they say that there's actually a swimming pool in the basement. A sound check alone to set up for Blue October took like over an hour because the acoustics in there are so awful. They couldn't get a proper sound check. The only reason I even knew what songs were playing is because I could kind of pick up on some of the rhythms. Otherwise, I would have no idea what's playing. It's that bad. Musicians don't even like playing there because the sound is so terrible. I talked to one guy who said that their guitar tech actually left halfway through their gig because it was so painstaking trying to get any kind of equipment tuned in that place that he just left. Just save yourself the hassle and don't go to the Rave. Alright, well that's pretty much all I really have to say. I'm hopefully going to start doing some more of these vlogs soon. I know this one was very out of left field. Completely random and a lot of, hey, what the hell are you talking about kind of topics. But they're just things that were on my mind. I do have other topics and things that I want to discuss in the future. This is just kind of to get the ball rolling. Thanks for tuning in once again. Sorry it's been so long. I'm sure you haven't missed me. But either way, I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching. Peace off.